Jim Hickey, and our timekeeper, Bill. Appreciate that. Jim's from Ravensworth. Bill, where are you from? What neighborhood?
Villa.
Bingo. We are all participating. Let me jump to the meat of the candidates tonight. The meat. Let me introduce Dr. Cook, our incumbent Republican. Carrie, thank you. Janet Olazak. If there's no questions from all of us attending here, let's proceed on and pass the baton to Jim.
Thank you, Bill. And thank everybody for coming. I only got a couple of things to say. There are restrooms out here behind the tables that have the snacks if you have the need. Please turn your cell phones off, or at least too quiet. If we hear one, I'm going to ask that person to leave. We've got important business here and we don't want to be interrupted by cell phones. The order of the candidates speaking at the beginning and the end has been done by drawing. The way they answer the questions will be in a somewhat random order. I will tell them when they're answering. Everybody will get to go first, second, and third equal amount of times, but it won't be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 like that. We don't want to do that. One other thing, there was one chair reserved in here tonight. I did that as a personal privilege because I knew it'd be crowded, and the chair was for my wife. It's her birthday, and I told her I was taking her somewhere special. Are being reviewed by representatives of the campaigns, and they will get to me shortly. Nobody came here to listen to me, I know, so we'll start with our opening statements of 3 minutes by each candidate. Our timekeeper over here will show you when you've got 1 minute left, 30 seconds left, and 10 seconds left. When you're after he shows the 10 seconds, I will count them out quietly to myself. If you're still talking, I will say, time. If you're still talking, I will say, time louder. So let's just observe the rules if we could. And then the questions, everyone gets 90 seconds. Mr. Campbell, you've got 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Is this on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Honey, did you turn your cell phone off? Okay, good. We're in church sometimes and it goes off and I'm always embarrassed. I'm an Air Force veteran, an accountant, a member of the North Springfield Civic Association Board, PTA, member of this, Braddock District Council, and currently the co-chair of the Budget and Transportation Committees of the Fairfax Federation of Civics Associations. Thank heavens and Mama's prayers, like your wife, sir, I am here tonight celebrating my birthday. And I assure you, there's, for somebody who has loved America and our political process, there's no place on earth I'd rather be than with my neighbors. I kept thinking about a birthday long ago when my Uncle Jess and Uncle Charlie, Uncle Jess had a birthday the same day. They celebrated, one played banjo, one played guitar. And I got their hair, that is to say that both of them were bald. And Uncle Charlie gave Uncle Jess a wrapped present. Uncle Jess opened it up, and it was a comb. And Uncle Jess said, "Charlie, I love this. I'll never part with it." I'm for more trains and less traffic, more solar, more revenue, for electronic signs at each of our Virginia rail stops so that we can increase more trains, more tracks, more often. We need to keep our schools strong, our public safety strong, our human services strong. I am also the most fiscally conservative candidate up here tonight, and during the course of this debate, I hope to specifically tell you fund by fund, line by line, what I would cut and where I would shift. The simple thing to remember is I contend that we can put solar on the roofs of all of our public buildings like is being done in Tucson, being done in Germany, and create revenue for the county. With that, keep the property taxes low and to build rail. And to, with that, I give back my time. Thank you.
Mrs. Olasek will be next.
Thank you so much. No, I'm not sure this is on.
Jim. It's up. It's up, I think.
Can you hear me in the back?
Yes.
Can you hear me in the back?
Yes.
Is there any difference? Jim, I think this isn't working. I'm sorry.
Is it turned on? There's an on and off switch there. And it appears to be on. Does it, can you hear me? Magic touch. I'm going to talk directly.
Well, it's on.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I have to talk to the bottom. Thank you, Jim,
Start over.
for your willingness to act as moderator, and thank you to the Braddock District for arranging this first of 9 more debates. So you ready for 9 more? We're doing 10 of these. I am here because I'm a candidate for the Board of Supervisors. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy you're here because it is for you that I even bothered to run. And I don't mean bother in the bad sense of the word. I mean, this is my home, has been for 39 years. I'd like to lay out how my experience, skill set, and values will make the best choice you have for the next Board of Supervisors. As your next supervisor, I will put Braddock first. My husband Walter and I have lived here for 39 years. We've raised our sons, Mark and Eric, who went to our excellent public schools, graduated from Robinson, went to Bonnie Bray and Oakville Elementary. I have been active in the civic life of Braddock for decades. I think our district needs a full-time supervisor, a supervisor who does put Braddock first. The problems facing Fairfax County are complex. I believe that in order to solve them, you need a supervisor who has the skill set to have worked at all levels of government. I bring that to this campaign. I worked on the Hill as a congressional staffer. I have the support of Senators Mark Warner, Jim Webb, and Congressman Jerry Connolly. I worked in Richmond as a legislative assistant in the House of Delegates. I have the full support of the 3 state senators who represent Braddock and the state delegates who represent 92% of this district. Locally, I served as your school board member countywide, and I bring to the table the knowledge of how to balance budgets and how to get things done. It is tonight that we will determine how experience at the 3 levels of government will bring the best possible answers and solutions to you, to my neighbors, to Braddock District. Thank you so much for being here.
And Mr. Cook.
Thank you, Bill, for hosting tonight, and thank you, Jim, for giving up your evening to be here with us, and thank you to all of you for showing your civic commitment by coming out tonight. This is a fantastic crowd. It's so great to see you, and I think this is an appropriate venue for our first debate, a Braddock District Council meeting. because our Braddock District Council is the place where our 160 civic and homeowners associations of the Braddock District come together to make policies to help make our neighborhoods better places to live. And the fundamental question in this campaign is simple yet fundamental, and that is, which candidate will help best take care of our neighborhoods? Because the job of the district supervisor is to take care of our neighborhoods. Neighborhoods are about people, and strong neighborhoods are ones where people work together. And in my community engagement initiative, we trained over 150 community leaders and volunteers in how to make a difference in their own communities. And now those volunteers are out doing neighborhood watch programs, emergency response, erosion control. They're picking up trash. They're having picnics and social events in their neighborhood so that people get to know the people on their own street, and learning the concept of neighbors helping neighbors. We've taught them what county government has to offer to support and facilitate those efforts and bring them together. We've expanded on that effort this year with my environmental initiative, Leadership Institute, that we did this spring. 30 community leaders came together for a full day on a Saturday to learn what can we do in our homes and in our communities to bring our lifestyles in concert with the environment, to have stormwater management practices in our homes and in our neighborhoods. I've started our Coffees Connection program for people with disabilities to encourage all people in our community, including those with disabilities, to come together and be involved in our communities. And it's been about getting things done. We have issues with Northern Virginia Community College and parking and traffic up there because we're gaining 1,000 students a year. So I've started a quarterly advisory group where the community gets together with the school to talk about how to make the neighborhood a better place and deal with our common challenges. It's modeled after the similar group that we have with George Mason. We're working on the West Campus Connector, which is George Mason's road project that's going to relieve congestion at Braddock and 123 by 10 to 30%. We're working in Burke Center with a Citizens Task Force that's working on pedestrian improvements to make Burke Center Parkway around Terra Center Elementary School more pedestrian friendly. And on, there are many more projects that we're doing in Braddock District, and throughout the evening I look forward to talking to you about them and about how we can move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we will commence with selected questions that were written out by you folks tonight. For the first question, the order will be, and it's going to be easier if I just do first names, if that's okay with everybody. It will be John, Janet, and Carrie for this first question. You get 90 seconds for it. Please watch the timekeeper. Here's one we can all relate to, I think. Braddock Road is a critical artery in our district. Can you explain what transportation improvements you would like to see in the future, and how will you pay for them?
Absolutely. First, as part of our spot improvement program, which is $1 million a year that each district has, we've got a task force working on the intersection of Danbury, Forest Drive, Braddock, and Wakefield to do some lane change and median changes to lengthen that left turn lane up Wakefield Chapel Drive. We've got 3 ongoing projects down at George Mason. The University Mall improvements will have traffic improvements. We've got a county program working with George Mason to have a double left turn lane going into Roanoke River, and another a county program that's going to add turning lanes at Braddock and 123. I have added to the county's list through my spot improvement funds, adding a lane to Braddock Road between Guinea and Burke Lake Road out of existing spot improvement funds. In the long run, I've advocated what our county executive has recommended, which is local control of local roads. That is having the funding here to raise our own funds, not to send them to Richmond, but to keep them here so we can determine for ourselves what programs to work with on our roadways. We have a county program to run transit from the Burke VRE, up Burke Lake Road, down Braddock to the hot lanes. And so these are some of the projects that we're working on. They're long-term projects, but our spot improvement program will bring real relief and congestion relief to our intersections. Thank you.
I am so glad John mentioned those projects, which were actually on the majority on the books before he was elected to the Board of Supervisors. However, he did mention that the initiative he has privatizing our roadways, I am just amazed that someone would privatize our public roadways at a time when our transportation issues are so much more complex than just Braddock District. And the state responsibility for those roads, as you well know, cost us quite a lot of money. To privatize a roadway, it would require that Fairfax County purchase heavy moving equipment. Those big movers are $200,000, $300,000 each. The labor involved in paying for those improvements would only have to come from taxes, and there's a problem in that the taxes that would be assessed to pay for our roadways would come directly out of the school budget and public safety. We can't afford that. We can't afford John's plan.